So what is going on, everybody? Today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what's coming in title update 16 concerning exotics. If you guys haven't watched the full patch notes video that I released on my main channel, highly recommend watching it. I kind of go over everything, but I want to talk to you guys about something that is really cool that I think was needed for the Division 2 in title update 16, and it's exotics drops. And you might have noticed in the PTS, exotic drops were dropping everywhere. I'm talking about the drop rate looked crazy, and that's because they put the drop rate to the maximum rate for the PTS because they were testing where they needed to put it so that way it could be balanced when it does go live. And what that means is, yes, we are going to have a better chance now of getting exotics to actually drop in title update 16. If you notice, probably over the last year, you might have noticed drops for the exotic drops in the open worlds are probably slim to none. Sometimes you get them randomly out of like caches that you open, but it's really rare to get an open world drop, especially something like you were seeing in the PTS. And bear in mind, what you saw in the PTS was actually very high, but that still means that they are working on it. And they actually put this in the PTS notes, and I wanted to kind of go over it with you. So the first big change is starting from World Tier 5, exotics will now have a small chance to drop from any NPC in the entire game, starting at challenging difficulty and above. So just so you guys know, that means that when you're farming the open world, whether you're playing missions or just running around in those control points, any NPC will finally have a chance of dropping exotics. And that wasn't the case before because I play a lot of control points to get materials. And I want to say over the last year, I've probably gotten 0 to drop from the NPCs or bosses in the open world. Now, some of you guys who are new or returning might ask, well, why do you need to have more exotics drop, period? There's a lot of different ways to get exotics right now. Well, the big reason why is because you'll need those exotic components from those exotics, right? Because when you dismantle one exotic, you get one exotic component, and you use those exotic components to level up your weapons in the game. So if you don't know, there is an expertise system now. And yes, once you get every gun proficient, after you get your guns to level 10 expertise and above, you'll start to use those exotics, and the same goes for your gear. After level 11, you'll start to use exotic components. Now, while the weapons and your skills will cost more exotics than it will for your gear, it's just a lot of exotics that you're gonna end up spending, especially if you guys want to get your items to level 20 expertise, which is very hard to do, right? It's almost better to get a couple items to 15 and then just leave them there, because to get to 20 on a weapon or skill, it's gonna be 20 exotics for the final one. So you can imagine it starts to add up. Now, with them increasing the exotic drop rate in the open world, this gives players more ways to actually farm those exotics, and that's what I'm excited for. And it even gets better because they're actually adding another way to get exotic components and not just exotics, which that's the main reason I'm using it for, because I'm dismantling. So give me another way to get exotic components, and that's what they did. So starting from World Tier 5 and above, exotic components will now have a small chance to drop from control point chests starting at alert level 3 and DZ chest in the DZ. So this is actually a huge change for people who don't really need exotics. They just want the exotic components because it gives you another way to actually farm them instead of just farming Countdown, or just instead of farming the Summit, maybe farming exotic chests, right? So instead of just doing those missions, those dailies, those weeklies, this actually gives you a chance to get exotic components without actually needing the exotic itself. I don't know how many exotics I have dismantled, but the fact that now I can farm the open world, have a chance of exotics dropping from any NPC, and now while I am farming those control points for materials or items I need, I can get a chance of getting exotic components, which is what I really need from those caches. Hey, and the fact that they added this to the DZ2, it's a bonus for PvE and PvP players. And I think this is actually a great move to allow players to actually want to farm in the DZ if they want to play a little bit PvE/PvP. You can go in the DZ, you can look for those exotic components. If you get those exotic components, then you can extract them. So I don't know if you need to extract the exotic components when they drop in the DZ, but the fact that you have a lot of different ways to actually get exotics is definitely something that I am excited for, because I'm a little worried. I have a lot of items I want to get to level 20 expertise, and there's only a couple different ways to actually get exotics, and you don't want to get burnt out. Honestly, the thing you don't want to do in the game is get burnt out doing the same thing over and over and over, because you will get tired of the game very fast. But if you can add different ways for you guys to get those exotic components, be able to farm different ways, it's very refreshing than doing countdown over and over, or doing level 10 summit over and over, or just farming the blueprints, right? Like the chatterbox, or doing the liberty, or even doing the holster and then crafting it in dismantling. This gives you another way to get exotics, but also enjoy the game as a whole and experience it more. So I'm excited for this. I think this is a great change. I was really voicing this. I said we needed another way to get exotic components. A lot of people were saying the same thing, that we needed another way to get exotic components, because it's just too grindy for you not to have a lot of different ways to get it, and they finally changed it. So that is very exciting to see, and I'm glad they are listening to us, because I know a lot of people have been voicing their concerns, and I believe that they realize, yes, you know, they do give a lot of good points, and you know, these are things that we do need to change, because if we don't, you can burn out your player base. And this is one big change, one good step in the right direction. And what I want to know in the comments is, what do you guys think about this change with exotic components now dropping from those control point caches and DZ caches, and any NPC in the open world having a chance of dropping exotics, period, any exotic item. What do you guys think about that? I think great step in the right direction, and I am very excited for what the future holds for the division, and I feel like it's finally going in the right direction. Let me know what you guys think. I will see you guys in the next one. Hey, appreciate the support, appreciate the love. Thanks for watching. I'll see you around. Hey, nothing but skills out. Take it easy, everybody.